Welcome, y'all, to the ORX bootcamp, where we're gonna review the next, each video will be like a month's worth of data, see how viable this strat is. But yeah, let's get into it. So, there's three things I want to talk about. Um, One is the entry models, the second is targets, and the third is the weakness of this model. Anyways, our entry models for this model are these straight lines. These are our manipulation levels. This is where it will potentially bottom tick, top tick, and then distribute into wherever they want to go. And target wise, we look for, let's say, manipulates up here. Let's say manipulates up here, and then our target would be here. This is about one standard deviation. And then, oh, also forgot the main point of the data, the source is a 4-hour candle. These are, we just plot the high and lows, and that's how essentially we got all these singular lines, plotted automatically, is according to the highs and lows of that 4-hour candle, the first 4-hour candle, which is usually the accumulation candle in the higher time frame. And the last thing, the weakness, is when market trends in all three sessions, which is Asia, London, and New York, we essentially just lose for the night, for the day. So, yeah, we still gotta address that problem, but when there's manipulation though, it works fantastic. Anyways, let's get into it. So here, 4-hour candle finishes, and now we have all our, lines plotted. As we see, it kind of works its ways up to the 4-hour candle high. So essentially, we short once we hit that first manipulation level, which we call the 0M. And as you can see, a max risk of 27 ticks. And then by 1 a.m. midnight after London Open, it flushes to 425. So you could say you could take TP right there. I mean, the first target would be to cross the other side of the 4-hour candle manipulation, and as you see, it ends up flushing through that. But if you did hold longer by, you know, after New York Open, flushes into probably the best target. That's the optimal target, which is, I call it one standard deviation away from the 4-hour candle, but essentially it's just 200% of the 4-hour candle's like range. So the 4-hour candle's range is about 212. So essentially from the low of the 4-hour candle low, it's gonna be double of that. So 424, let's say. That's how we get these levels as well. But yeah, if you held that, fantastic. One trade, it's best. And then, as we saw, this is another potential buying level. It manipulates here, and we ended up, going back up and tapping the pretty much the high of day. So very simple entry levels. We have all these manipulation levels, and then also the optimal target. And when these targets get hit, market can reverse a lot of times. And yeah, you got 1, 2, 3 trades, that give you really large RRs. So if we calculated that, that's, let's say, about 3R. My R is about 200 ticks, which is 50 points. So that'd be 3R, and then if we did go long there, that's another 3R. So 6R for the day right there already. Just for that. Okay, here is where the problem comes in. This is, let's say we entered here. It would be a long for sure. Our stop loss again is gonna be about 200 ticks. It's more like 196 because of the fees. But as we saw, ended up not manipulating and continued selling off. Pre New York Open. I mean, so essentially we would have probably lost that day. So yeah, I need to find another way to see, what the trend, if it's gonna trend or not. But that's another thing. So probably, I'd say probably minus 1R or 2R. Essentially, we could have potentially played this, the 1 standard deviation. But as you saw, really didn't have much and just continue flushing. So let's give that 2R minus 2R. Again, when it ranges and when it trends, we just get demolished. Yeah, taken out there by midnight. I mean, you could have played another thing here and could have gotten back to break even with how choppy that was. But yeah, I mean, as you saw, if we pretty much just was a trend trader, uh, the optimal target got hit eventually. So, we still gotta find a way. Not gonna lie. I mean, that'll be for another video. Not gonna lie. But yeah, there's that. I mean, if we played the market open at 3, we could have survived the stop loss with 185 ticks, and then made a potential 155. I've tried that before, but God, the market open just the first 4 hour candle just be it. Probably one of the most annoying things, and that's why it's better just to avoid it. Anyways, so yeah, another probably minus 1R or break even there for the day. Here we have 4 hour candle finishes. It kind of sells off a little bit. We survive with a 0M. I mean, it tapped all the other M levels, but we survived that, so no risk there. And with a high of almost 500 ticks, we get 2R for the day. We could also play the other side of the 4 hour candle high manipulation levels and potentially back down. If it's a rangy day in New York, this can be a very good trade, and you can just continuously trade between the manipulation levels. Um, but yeah, I mean that could have been 4R, 2R for a day. Okay, here we have. I mean, lost a trade there, as you can see. Probably lost the midpoint of that candle, and then the next trade would have been this 1 standard deviation shorts there, max risk of 85 and flush. So yeah, New York Open AM can manipulate, and we ended up reversing the whole thing. And yeah, that would have been an easy 3R there. Target was all that manipulation levels on the other side of the 4 hour. for 3R. Here, again, it wouldn't work. Probably tapped out for the day. Whereas this is a 0M. And tapped out right there by midnight. I mean, you could also play this, but I prefer to play the 1 standard deviation in New York. It often works better because there's more volume to react to. But if you did play that 80 ticks, I mean, pretty much lost that. I don't really have any targets for that. I tried to do I mean, not really, or nothing really there. I mean, you could have played all that, but the amount of risks, it wouldn't be worth it. But yeah, that's that. I tried to do the like multiple standard deviations, but I just think it's better to play these manipulation levels and be done for the one trade. Okay, next one. We tap. Almost tapped this. It's 2 ticks away. But let's say we did play it. That was an easy 1R trade right there. It tapped into the militia lever here. And essentially you can play that too. And yeah, I mean 381 ticks. This hasn't been rated yet, so that would have been a good target as well. But you could have also targeted that 1 standard deviation. Yeah, it did ping pong a little bit at New York Open, but it's eventually accumulated and distributed at the last hour or two. Let's say, yeah, 435 would have been made sense because we get auto liquidated by 12 or 115, 110. All right, so that would have been say 1R then 2R potentially. All right, here we got price hitting at 4 a.m. So definitely gonna be a limit order type of entries. So you could even trade in your sleep. And then wake up to being a millionaire. But a max risk of 62 ticks, and yeah, flush at after New York Open for 523, rating the 0.25 M. So that's a decent trade right there, and ended up ranging for the rest of New York. That's why finding the trades like in London is one of the best things. Here, probably I would have been lost. Yeah, just buying at the open would have been the best choice. But I'm seeing something. I'm seeing something. We might have to play with some inverse manipulation. Not the IFVGs. But yeah, would have lost there. Trend was the move. I just wish sometimes that these trend type of days it would manipulate even a little bit in Asia, but it just gets stuck in the middle of the 4-hour candle. So it'd be annoying sometimes. But yeah, probably not a loser right there. I mean, could have played some of that. Used the standard deviation as support and resistance. But we don't really use that for that. Here, another thing. We probably lost this one by then. but we did have manipulation at the one distribution at London Open, which has an edge, so I'll be using this as well for 342 ticks. So you could probably trail at 200 ticks and it would have been tapped out as it flush further at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. I don't know if this is a viable strat, but using previous days, standard deviation levels. I mean, if we did play that, max risk of 90 and actually 695. I mean, we might have to try those out. Okay, here's a little bit better. A lot of manipulation happening. Here, lost that trade. Um, we could probably trail put us buy limit after stop loss. But let's say we did play the 0.5M, 52 tick stop loss, 52 tick max risk, and then 781, max TP. So again, playing the targets of the other side of the militia, as you can see, works very good. And if it played the manipulation up here, because sometimes, New York Open can fail and ends up selling off, we would have had another about 2R. So that is 3R plus 2R is about 5R minus the 1R. It would have been 4R for the day. Here we have it rating it right away. Survive the stop loss for 161, and probably just break even for the day. I mean, it tapped this 4-hour low, 488 ticks, but it wasn't much. But yeah, probably break even for the day. Here we had it tap the 4-hour low, max running of 23 ticks. Tap those levels for 230 ticks, so you could probably play this as it tapped it twice in 2 hours, and then as we saw it flush 438 ticks, and potentially played it again. Yeah, sometimes you can have a day where there's so much manipulation happening, but that's 526 ticks into New York Open, and then yeah, you kind of just sold off. But yeah, I mean, you could have been done in Asia, London, but if you did want to play that, you could have, could have potentially won. Okay, here's some juicy one. Here we have the 4-hour high, got tap right away. We did not survive that, so you could have probably trailed it with a stop loss. Let's just say we shorted here, max risk of 56 ticks, and then a thousand tick trade. So it could have been 4R for the day, 5 here and then minus 1R. So that back to back 4Rs potentially. Here we tap the 0M, tap that 4-hour low, max risk of 40 ticks, and then a high of 362 ticks. That's a good 1R for the day. But you could have left it overnight as well and be like, oh, you should tap this for 2R. But ended up actually going back down. for 66. But if you held through by, lunchtime, you're up 3R for the day. So there's that. Then you got this 4-hour candle high, get tap ASAP. And then if flush for 556. So you could have been done, for the day. But yeah, 2R right there. Here, play the 4-hour candle low. Lose that trade there as it wick below. We could have played a trail on that stop loss, buy limit under. Let's just say, we bought at the close of the candle. Yeah, it distributed into New York for 1500 ticks. So 1 minus R, 1400, let's say. That would have been 6R for the day. Here, it's so much different looking at it now compared to today's price action. Here would have lost it there. I'd say probably 2R for the day, minus 2R. Probably hit max loss for the day. Not really much to see there. Yeah, again, this low here at 5 a.m. was not enough. So there's that. Here we have tap in the 4-hour candle high at the initial level there. Max loss, max drawdown 96.6 for a 481 TP. So yeah, I'll take 2R. We could have played this 1 standard deviation as well. Max drawdown 106 ticks and then ping pong back into those manipulation levels at the high of the 4-hour candle for another 2R. So yeah, there's 4R for the day. And maybe you could have sold that as well for another 2R, but usually I only play like one raid. If it raids again, the edge goes lower. Here probably max loss for the day. I mean, just trends really, essentially. Here could have played that max, that high of day. I mean, there's 7 tick difference. I'm not sure it would even tap, but if we did, that would have been such a great short for 8R essentially. And yeah, that is January 2024's data. I need to find a better way to really do it. But yeah, there's that. What to do next? We're just gonna do this every video we make. I'm trying to do it every day. So it's gonna be like about 22 hours. About for now, like 24, 26. It's gonna be 26 videos. So it's gonna be quite a lot. Sorry if my energy goes down as I talk. But yeah, there's that. Alright, y'all. Till the next video.